Good afternoon, Missing Piece Army. This is Jason with KBS Group on episode 1 of the Missing Piece podcast, coming to you with our special guest, Miss Wanda Jones with Southern Classic Realty. And we're excited for this first episode. Wanda, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yep. And so today, guys, it's going to be real informal. We're trying to figure out the direction for this podcast. We'll look for some feedback from our audience in the Missing Piece Army. But today, I got to choose the topic. And the topic is the missing piece, the story behind the name. So Wanda Jones is a realtor in the Elmore County, Tallahassee area. She's also sits on the KBS board and has played an important role in our journey. And Wanda isn't just a trusted friend, but she's an advisor, sits on our board, and she's a person that gives us praise that ultimately became the foundation for our company's vision, the missing piece. So with that, we're going to get right into it.
Okay.
So one of the things, guys, for those of you who don't really know our story is we've been in several other business arenas Mona and I had since 2007, 2006. And this binder that you see in front of us was the vision that took about 90 days to put together. And Wanda and I were on the phone one day talking, and she said, "You guys are the missing piece." So that's just kind of what stuck with our brand name. So where I want to start at today, Wanda, is tell everyone how you first met Mona and I.
I think we started looking at houses, did we not? Or were we talking about selling your house? One or the other.
That's right. Mona said, I want to move in 2017. I fought her until 2018. And she said, I'm moving. You can buy the house from me. And then you got involved. And I think we looked at 40 or 50 or 60 properties.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a long road.
Yes.
Yeah. And then we finally settled on one.
Right.
That's right. So that's kind of where our friendship comes from. And then it moved to Trusted Advisor was through multiple afternoons at looking at properties. And I think that's one thing we had appreciated was that you showed us the properties and didn't really hold our feet to the fire on any of them. You always said it was our choice.
Yeah. So it's always the buyer's choice.
That's right.
I give you guidance. I give you the information so you can make the educated decision.
Right.
And then it's ultimately up to you.
Right. I think the number one thing that frustrated me about the house hunting thing was we'd ask Wanda, what's this place worth? And she wouldn't give it to us. She would say, well, whatever you think it's worth, or whatever the appraisal says. So it was kind of an interesting learning curve for us.
It was. You would have ideas, and we would talk about it might go this way or it might go that way.
Right.
I
don't know if you remember, we're going to keep the address a secret for this conversation, but I remember walking into a property that had very loud purple walls. You probably don't remember because you go into hundreds of properties. I walked in and turned around and walked out, and Mona kept going. And I was like, yeah, this just isn't it for us, And I think you either know or you don't. I mean, look through what we went through on Cherokee Trail.
Yeah.
The obstacles we had to get through.
Yeah.
All right. How about this one? This one came from Mona. What were your first impressions of us when you met us?
You worked well together.
Okay.
You were very focused when you had an idea in mind, and you looked at all of the options to make that idea come to fruition.
Mm-hmm.
So you didn't back down just because you hit a little roadblock.
Right. I think also, too, what we wanted to point out about if you ever get a chance to work with Wanda, at least from our experience, which is the only thing we can speak of, is that when Wanda gives a recommendation, it's generally a winning recommendation, like repaint the entire inside of the house. Mm-hmm. It's not because she wanted us to spend money. It's because our patchwork didn't line up and the color didn't line up. You remember that?
I do.
So we had just painted the year before, and she came back and said, hey, paint the whole house again. We call that a Wandaism, just for those of us on the podcast. We call that Wandaisms all the time. Okay. Over the years, our friendship has grown beyond business. What makes our relationship between you and Todd and Mona and I special?
No matter what's going on in the world, what you have going in your life and what we have going on in our lives, storm comes through, and one of the first things you're going to do is text, call, check, are you guys okay? Do you need anything? We might not have to talk about what's going on, but do you need anything? Are you okay? And you guys are always one of the first ones to check on us.
Yeah, I think that, at least for Mona and I, Missing Piece Army is that I think a lot of people, and this is part of the podcast, this is my view, so if you don't like it, you can turn it off, but I hope that you don't. I think we live in such a fake social media world, Wanda, that we bind all these fake friends, or we've got 1,000 friends on Facebook or social media, and we feel like that's really our true network when they don't really know who we are.
Right.
And so one of the things as we have grown older, they say with age comes wisdom. Sometimes people just get older. For us, our circle of trust is a very small circle of trust. And you and Todd are in there. I think as we get older and more mature, that's not the way it was in our 20s and 30s, but there's less opinions that we're asking for. We want to make sure. I have this saying now, if you don't have gray hair, I don't want your opinion.
I've got plenty of that.
So now I got some of that now too. I hate it because Mona points it out every day. So, all right, moving on. You have watched the KBS Group evolve from an idea into a growing business. What changes have you seen along the way as you've had a part on the board and as Todd works with us?
One thing that I know about you is when you have an idea, you're not just going to ask opinions of people that have value to add. You are also going to do research and research and research and build your volume, basically,
Right.
of knowledge and information and resources.
Right. And so Missing Piece Army, as we had this vision, as I woke up in the middle of the night around the 1st or the 3rd of June last year, Mona and I were looking for an opportunity for us to go win at a different level. Now, there were some behind the scenes things that we'll go into later. We'll save for a later episode of actually how we worked through each of those steps in our process. But this binder in front of me is not only a business plan, but it's an operating procedure as well. So there was market research in that. There was analysis, both SWOT and risk. There was market research versus our competitors. And we wanted to really know if we were going to spend the amount of money that we spent, and we're not going to get into that today. We'll save that for another episode. Was there an ROI? Could we make money doing this? And I think that's what the market research said was, hey, there's a gap in the business area for what we want to do from 1 to 20 acres.
Right.
Get in, get out, not overcharge people or block them into a block of time. And with our business skills, nothing special, just kind of old-fashioned, returning phone calls, showing up on time and prepared, and delivering quotes and invoices and doing what we say we're going to do.
Right.
There's still a void that needs to be filled in this area for that.
Absolutely.
So, all right, moving on. The phrase, the missing piece, came from you. So here we go. Tell us behind that moment. What do you remember about that?
We were talking about what you wanted to focus on, the smaller jobs. And so from my 30 plus years of experience in real estate, a lot of contractors want the big jobs. They want to make the big money. They don't care about the little jobs because it takes a lot of time to get there, do the little work, get a little pay, and leave. They don't want that.
Right.
So really, the missing piece is somebody to fill that void.
Right.
Where there's a lot of little people that need little jobs done, they don't have the resources, they don't have the equipment, they don't have the knowledge, they don't have the know-how. So you're able to come in the local area, do these little jobs for a reasonable price, get in and get out, and you've filled a void for a lot of people.
Right. And just recently for one of your clients
Yes.
that inherited some property that we really needed to just give it a small facelift, not a complete home makeover.
Right.
For a reasonable price.
We just needed to be able to access the property without getting on a bed of snakes or whatever.
That's right.
Yeah.
So there's value for us as providers of services in Elmore County and Central Alabama to be able to not lock people into a huge project or give them a say, hey, we've got a video coming out in a couple of days called Do What the Client Want or Need or Wants, Not Needs. Because there's a difference.
Right. There is definitely.
And even in a project that we're working on this week, I love talking about the money with folks. Like, what's your expectation of the budget? Because if we go in there and try and offer them a bunch of services they don't need, then we'll walk right past what they're looking for.
Right.
What do you think a project like this costs? In some instances, we're on track. And I'm sure you deal with that with real estate as well.
Oh, definitely.
Okay. So look, we have the author and the creator She's not trademarked it yet. We're working on that now. But she is the missing piece creator, and we'll be forever grateful for that. So thank you. When you look at Mona and Jason today, what strengths do you see that make KBS different than other land management companies that you've worked with?
Again, it's everything that I've grown from day one with learning about both of you, is that when you say you're going to do something, you're doing your best to go through and figure out the solution and to do it.
Right. I can tell you, Missing Piece Army, that Wanda, Mona, and I have had very transparent conversations about financing, especially when buying the Cherokee Trail property.
Right.
We've had some come to Jesus moments with, hey, this is what we should do or we should not do. We've talked about HELOCs together and the options for that. I think that's the beauty about having true friends, that you can actually get into the weeds, not judge each other for those things, merely just ask questions and you're looking for data. And I think that's what we have between all of us. It's very cool. I hope you all get to experience that Missing Piece Army. We hope that you have friends like Todd and Wanda that can breathe life into you and not tear you down, because that's what you guys do for us. Even today's conversation, which we'll just leave off the records. But it was good to have somebody to come to talk to, like, hey, this ain't never happened to me before. What do I do?
Yeah.
Because I was going to do something completely different than you said do.
Right.
So, good.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard. And sometimes just being honest with somebody and also narrow down what's important about this conversation.
Right.
Sometimes you get in the weeds and you don't need to be in the weeds. You need to, okay, what is the focus of the conversation? Address the focus, address the problem.
Right.
And let's not have any of the extra.
None of the drama.
No drama.
No drama.
No drama zone.
That is right. We are the no drama zone, the missing piece. Very cool. I think that it's important for the Missing Piece Army to know why you joined our board when we asked you.
Well, it's very rewarding to watch an idea go from an idea through the process and see it be successful.
And you were there at every step, at every meeting. We're getting ready to have a board meeting at the end of June. And at the end of that meeting, we're an EOS, so EOS Entrepreneur Operating System. We'll break open all the books. We'll break open all the jobs. We'll look at the rate of return. We'll look where we're working. And I think where a lot of people get it wrong, where we may do it different than others, and we're not saying that we're better at it. What we are saying we're better at, though, is listening to the advice of people that we bring to the table. Because criticism is unwanted advice. And if we were asking for it, why wouldn't we follow it, or you'll quit giving it?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
All right. All right. Transitioning on. What do you hope KBS Group becomes over the next 5 to 10 years from your perspective?
A resource that a lot of people know that they can call and get their small job done, and that you're going to do a good job and not charge them crazy prices.
That's right.
And be successful doing it.
That's right. Next on that same item, what advice would you give entrepreneurs who are trying to build something meaningful? And let me just preface this. Ever since we've known you, I've never known Wanda to have a regular job. She's always been in real estate. That's all I've ever known, or rental, whatever you do, right?
I've had multiple jobs along with real estate full time.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you had to give advice to an entrepreneur trying to do something meaningful, what would you tell them?
No matter what kind of business that you're looking into, find somebody that's successful and copy them. Follow them around, see what works, see what doesn't work, do what they do.
And who would that have been for you?
Well, my first 8 years in the business, I had a partner, and I learned from day one how to do it and how to do it right. So, and that's what I'm doing now. I'm training a couple of agents right now. And if you don't know how to do something, find somebody that does and just follow them around.
Right.
Copy them.
And they got to have fruit on the tree for sure.
Yeah.
They got to bear good fruit. I had this conversation with a young man that I mentor quite often. And I asked him, who are you breathing life into today? Because so many people have taken you under their wings, taken me under their wings, given us second chances, right?
Right.
And it's my opinion that we pay that forward to the next generation of people who want to learn that wisdom. And I think it's an obligation of us as business owners to pour that thought process and knowledge and wisdom into the next group coming.
Absolutely.
So Missing Piece Army, if you're out there, I am looking at this point. Here's the call to action. I am looking for the next person who might want to be mentored, who's looking for business entrepreneurship. There'll be a process, a vetting process to go through for that in this area. We want to take a young couple or a young man or a young woman, and Mona will be involved, and we're going to walk them through how we kind of walked through for Business 101. And it's just not theory, it's actually theory and application on how that works. And we'll come out with that later on. All right, we're going to turn the page as we start to wrap things up, and we're going to talk about our special segment of the day called Wanda's Corner. You ready for this one? This is a surprise question.
Okay.
I know that we don't generally Monday morning quarterback or look back and second guess things. But what would have been one thing in your thought process or your daily things that you would have changed sooner than you did in your business?
I think in the very beginning, I was afraid to talk to people.
Mm-hmm.
That was part of it because I didn't know anything. When you start out, you're brand new, you know nothing. What do you
Right.
have to talk about? Just ask questions.
Okay.
That's one thing. Another thing is when I first started, the real estate market was slow, and I was afraid to call sellers and update them on what was going on with their home because there was really nothing going on. The market was really crazy dead. And so I would not call them to say, I have nothing to say. And so it felt like the next week and went by, the next week went by, and the next week. Then I was almost too embarrassed to call them because I hadn't called them for 2 or 3 or 4 weeks, but I still had nothing to tell them. So I think it would be to get out of that shell, just go talk to people. Even if you have nothing to offer, just having conversation, just so that they knew I cared. People don't know they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
That's right. That's right. I think that's sound advice, Missing Piece Army, for sure. I've always heard it said that to impact a heart, you have to reach for a hand. If they don't trust you, they're not going to buy from you.
Right.
Right or wrong.
Right.
Yeah. All right, guys. As we're coming to an end today, Wanda, thank you for coming in. We brought you a gift. It's nothing special, but we'll let you wear it on your trip. Did you get the official pink KBS
yay!
Group hat for Mona and I? There you go. Well, we won't she's going to put it on today. It's pretty exciting. And so, Missing Piece Army, we know that this is informal. There are some things that we got through that I wanted to make sure you started to understand who we are at KBS Group, the Missing Piece Army. It's important for our Army to understand the quality of people that we're working with as professional. Wanda is on our board, but Southern Classic Realty is also a preferred partner, like our other preferred partners like Collier Ford, Capital Tractor, Seppo Kane Tree Service, True Pole Trailers, and Blue Ribbon Dairy and the Coffee Cow. We ask you guys to shop with them because they're preferred partners with us and we know how they do business. And so, Wanda, thank you for coming on board, for being our first guest. More importantly, thank you for your friendship and your guidance through the years. I know sometimes it seems aggravating, and we are really listening. Mona will give me the nudge. What does Wanda think? And then I'll have to look for a Wanda-ism. More than anything, thanks for your belief in us as we've gone through this journey. The phrase, the missing piece, has become much more than a slogan for KBS Group. It's become part of our identity and a core value of what we're doing. We're grateful for the influence and what the future holds and our excitement. Good luck and have fun on your trip.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you where she's going because she's going to still do business probably. She'll be more like a workcation. Wanda, how does the Missing Piece Army reach you? How can they get in touch with you if they've got a property they want to list or they want to sell or they want to buy? How do they get in touch with you?
Just call me. Call me, message me on Facebook, email, either way. My cell phone number, 334-306-5795.
I had to pull that out of her. Look, I'll tell you this. If you're looking for good experience in the buying or selling of a property, we are biased, but this is who you call. Wanda, thank you.
Good luck.
Next episode coming up will be the Coffee Cow and Blue Ribbon Dairy with Michaela Wilson. That will be in July. We'll see you guys then. Thank you for all your support, Missing Piece Army. Have a great afternoon.